Hi, folks. Thanks, Mike. Really exciting for Incubeta Groundswell to be here at our first Incubeta event. And as Mike says, I'm going to chat today about the need for us all to focus on the complete customer journey. But first, look, as mentioned, on a running theme, how fast the world's moving today, the acceleration over 2020, the last 12 months in digital e-commerce in general has been explosive. We've seen it lots across lots of markets. Quick snapshot here from the US, from a McKinsey report, where 10 years growth in 3 months. We've heard countless stats like this: 5 years acceleration and digital transformation. The pandemic has really accelerated years of growth in just weeks, and the growth has been global. It's been worldwide. The impact's been seen across wholesalers going direct, global retailers, record sales month on month, just a flood of new direct-to-consumer businesses, and none of that is going to slow down. I think we've seen e-commerce sales in the last year grown from 19 to over 30%, and hitting an all-time high of overall retail sales. So there is no question there's a great and a massive opportunity ahead within the e-commerce space. And now there's no better time really to have a look at your strategy, have a look at e-commerce in general, and where we can avail of that opportunity. And that brings us back to the need to focus on the complete customer journey. With the growth and the opportunity means the market's never been more competitive. It's sustaining growth and continuous companies enter the market has raised the bar, as well as customer expectation being through the roof. And look, as part of that opportunity, growth and how we sustain growth is fundamental to it. It's today's topic. It's at the heart of Incubeta in general, and how we partner with clients to achieve growth. Looking at business growth in general, there are three simple levers, three simple ways that any business has to grow. Whether that's a service business like ours, an e-commerce business, whether you're selling coffee, regardless, we've all got to increase customers, get them to spend as much as we can, and increase the number of repeat purchases. And of course, it has to be done profitably in the end. And translating some of that to e-commerce, some of the maths that we look at and the simple levers we remind ourselves of. New customers comes from sessions and traffic times conversion rate. The three staples in the middle around revenue: sessions times conversion rate times average order value, and profitable growth coming from repeat purchase through customers. And it's when we combine that maths with a slightly different view here around a company's e-commerce growth strategy, heavy focus on customer acquisition, conversion and UX, and customer retention, the three pillars, all underpinned by measurement and insight, and constantly trying to improve. As I mentioned, the boom in e-commerce has changed consumer behavior. Expectations have never been higher. They're through the roof. And for us all to be successful, we really need to focus on that complete customer journey. And for part of today, I'd like to talk about one of the threats we continuously see within those three pillars is your user experience, and having that foundation of your user experience truly being aligned with actual end user behavior. A quote here from Christian Holtz, who's one of the co-founders of the Baymard Institute, a leading UX research agency. And so highlighting that third pillar around conversion and UX, and us asking ourselves, are we doing as much as we can to meet today's customer expectation and continue to optimize and drive performance within that pillar? And this is what our worlds look like. it's what they look like across all pillars and business in general. Lots of time, lots of money, energy, resource, and of course we've all got gaps. We've all got leaks within what we're pouring in. And our jobs to maximize the opportunity is to try and fix these leaks. And really within, again, across the 3 pillars, but very much so in your conversion and UX side, generating insight and applying resource and energy to insight is really critical area. And the ability to prioritize that, execute, measure, learn, and go again. With the opportunity ahead, I think a recent Deloitte CMO Insight report, 85% of CEOs have recognized the significant opportunity that the pandemic has brought through digital. And again, just reinforcing that the competitive nature and the landscape we're all looking at. So the ability to move fast is imperative to success. So look, some quick tips, let's say around that pillar. One, I can't encourage enough for everyone that we can all go and do tomorrow is become your own customer. Go and experience your experience. So go on your site, try to find your product, try to find a product if you're a retailer. Look at your product page. Does it answer all your questions? Is the imagery good? Is the content good? Have I got affirmations? Is delivery clear? Can I add it to basket? Check out, buy the product, go a bit further. Does it arrive? Call customer service. Really experience your own experience. It's something we all fall short of. Very busy day to day, and it's a very easy area for us to get a quick list of improvements. And then a second quick area to follow that is following one of the laws of UX, Jacob's law, around users spent most of their time on other sites. So users prefer your site to work the same way as all other sites they already know. And again, very easy for us. We're all part of the e-com boom. We've all been buying online or forced to buy online. We know what annoys us and what upsets us. We know what we expect. Again, apply that to your own site and your own experience and your own company's online offering. Are you meeting that expectation? And that's as a foundation of a quick list. You'll find easy stuff to fix, but of course, a lot of that will be subjective. It'll be subjective to you and your teams and whoever you get to do it. So we've got countless insight sources that need added on top of that. And with everything in the world today, data is everywhere, very collectible, but it's only as useful as the resource and the energy that you can apply to analyze it and produce an action. So a snapshot of some insight sources, these would be the 3 areas I'd encourage that everyone focuses on. Once these are done, working and being useful, then we of course can go further. Google Analytics, still critically important as your primary quantitative tool. Having that set up right. We still find it set up wrong and in lots of areas. Set up wrongs, just set up not to provide the right value. It needs to answer questions that you're asking. And then as a very close second, looking at qualitative sources, voice of customer. We really have to be listening to your customers. As I've said, competition has never been higher. Customer expectation has never been higher. What processes have you in place to listen to your customer? Customer service as a department, as an area, as a representative in your team is the best place to go. What are they hearing every day? What are they seeing? What are the complaints and what are the pain points? That's an immediate list of action. Starting to utilize some tools. An exit survey on an order confirmation page, for example, is something we have great success with. Fire that on your order confirmation page, asking what nearly stopped you purchasing today. So you've got a customer who's happy. They've just got through checkout. They've bought something. And you're going to get areas of checkout pain points. PayPal didn't work, had to use a different card, certain areas. Great rich insight in there and easy to set up. and then progress further, some usability testing, set some scripts, focus in on areas that you've identified via Google Analytics and drop-off points, again, to qualify everything with multiple sources. And really, back to the principles of why we're doing it. We're trying to grow. We're trying to meet customer expectation. We're trying to provide the best experience we can. So prioritizing all of that rich task list, triangulating your insight, ranking it based on effort, potential return, and back to the principles of business growth, asking questions against those points. Is it going to help us increase customers? Is it going to help us build bigger baskets, better baskets? And is it going to help with repeat purchase? And if we simplify into 3 streams of action that we like to see within your conversion and UX pillar, is what we class as just direct action. Product data may need updated, further imagery, further resource, potentially looking at utilizing some tools that may already exist in your platform, using thresholds for delivery to build baskets, fixing bugs, of course, that you'll potentially come across, and addressing some of that feedback you've heard from customers, whether that's around, often that's messaging, maybe not clear on a promotion, messaging not clear on an offer, voucher codes not working, things that happen in lots of our day-to-day that are easy to fix. And then into your website roadmap, or your optimization roadmap, of course, getting broken things fixed, feature addition and enhancement, and again, targeting areas of importance to your customer where your competitors have got an edge or where you're not quite at the game. And a third stream of conversion optimization. So utilizing UX best practice, UX improvements, testing some of the proven psychology areas around urgency, scarcity, clarity, and trust, and really looking at being able to move fast, test and learn, and improve your experience, and with that comes improved growth. So, folks, in summary, a whistle stop around conversion and UX, but as we mentioned at the start, the opportunity's never been greater. E-commerce is growing rapidly and going to continue. And to be successful there, we must focus on the complete customer journey. Dedicated time and resource to insight and measurement is a staple of today, and very much so when it comes to energy towards your customer. Making sure we're including both qualitative and quantitative sides, the what and the why. If anything, Google Analytics and speaking to customer service from your voice of customer. Prioritize against the growth principles, constantly asking yourself against those three growth principles. And if it doesn't stack up against those, move it down the list or put it in the bin and look at the next one. And really, it's about actioning and going again, fast execution. And that's me, folks. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Super insightful. I think there's a tons for us to learn in there, and it reminds me of the discussions we still have with clients, even when it's about their regular website versus their mobile website, and the fact that many people don't proxy themselves as a consumer, actually go through a mobile checkout funnel. They test on the website, and that's it, right? And that's not the world we live in anymore. And it's almost silly to see that. Not sure if there's anything you want to say about the importance of mobile in there, because I think that's sort of growing right in parallel with e-commerce, and it's maybe there's something interesting there as well.
Yeah, and really valid, Mike. Really valid, and I think at times the industry, and especially e-commerce, the year of mobile was meant to be years ago. And we move into the next one. We've moved into AI and various other things, and I think what we've seen in the last 12 months, we've seen a flood of new customers. As well as the already established mature, and mobile traffic levels in certain sectors are 90+%. Yep. And absolutely, all of what I described and your experience is should have started with and do it on mobile. Let's not do it on a laptop or a desktop. Absolutely, still there, and just paramount important. We haven't gone past the year of mobile. It's still right now.
I think the year of mobile was 20 years ago, but here we are today.
I agree. I agree.
Few questions, Mark. First of all, it's of course really inspirational to hear from you as an expert on the field on the things that businesses should be doing. And I love the idea of acting as a consumer of your own brand, right? It seems really straightforward, but I actually think lots of people should be doing that much more often. Can you indicate a brand where your thinking is that these guys are doing it right? Are there prime examples where you think that whole end-to-end customer journey or experience is stitched together to such a nice extent that you're like, these guys get it? Do you have a good example for us?
Yes, good question. And I think it's, look, a couple of retailers we all know the names of are doing a great job of that. Some of the obvious ones around, people like ASOS, Zalando, Next here in the UK. And that's touching out into full service, full experience as opposed to just on site. But actually quite a nice one. Direct to consumer is where we're seeing mass growth, and we did some work recently, a client of ours. We usually do a bit of competitor analysis around our UX audit work, and Whoop came up in that the sleep and fitness tracker that's relatively new to the market, but they do a great job of just that direct to consumer experience online. What is it? What does it do for me? Why should I buy it? Some nice social proof around ambassadors, and just they're doing a great job of that online experience.
It's funny, right? It's almost the traditional rules of marketing and advertising proliferating in this direct to consumer e-commerce sphere. Just tell the right story, be genuine, be the right brand, and have the right proposition, and people will find you.
Absolutely.
Very interesting. As if our industry doesn't have enough challenges, of course we have privacy as well. I mean, privacy changes the demise of third-party cookies, but also the impact that these privacy regulations will have across tracking on-site, but also off-site, and actually understanding customer journeys. It's something that excites and scares us all at the same time, I think. I'm wondering what implications do you see specifically for these more stitched customer journeys, which are nice to track if you can track them, but which will be difficult to track if you cannot track them. What would you advise brands in terms of how to deal with that?
Yeah, big. That's a bigger question than the first one. So I think some of what I was touching on in the talk here is around just our need in general to be close to customer, understand our customer, and really be building our product range and selling our products to our customers as opposed to selling them to attract a bit of information. So I think I talked about the notion of 3 pillars in e-commerce. Customer acquisition is very much going to be impacted more from privacy than an on-site experience. And with that around moving very much to first party, understanding email lists, and again, that voice of customer area I talked about, that qualitative investing energy there is going to reap benefits for your customer and for your sales. So it's, if we can take a view of our customers are real people, how do we treat them? Then that's going to meet requirement, let's say, from governing bodies as well.
That's a great point. I actually think many e-commerce clients will have to start thinking of, you don't start a relationship with your customer at the moment they purchase something. You have to start it somewhere before, else you cannot stitch it together anymore, right? So I think it's a fantastic challenge, and hopefully we can help our clients with that, because it brings me to the last point. Of course, Lars has alluded to Incubeta Groundswell. We know you now, Mark, so that's also a good thing. But can you tell us a little bit more about what you guys do? What is it that you get out of bat for and that you love to do? And how do you think you can add value to the Incubeta clients and partners that we have? Sure.
So look, Groundswell, Incubeta Groundswell, guys, we're an e-commerce agency. And we partner with clients to accelerate their growth online, and we do that through e-commerce consultancy. That's kind of overarching in all of our areas, so consultancy around e-commerce in general. What's our strategy? How are we going to grow into technology, e-com platforms, also internal teams, resources, etc. And then through traditional services, very similar to Incubeta's current group around digital advertising. But conversion optimization, as I've touched on briefly today in UX, email automation, and analytics and insight as again a foundation. So we're delighted to be part of Incubeta. Lots of synergy and lots of areas to help develop together, and ultimately to be bringing that full rounded service to all clients.
100% agreed. We're happy to have you, Mark, and I think the narrative around stitching these things together much more end to end for our fantastic client base is a super exciting future for all of us. So, thanks for that. That's all we got time for today in terms of Incubeta Groundswell.